We call it a newspaper, but it's really more than a newspaper. This paper will do more than any one of us individually could ever do, because it can go places that we cannot go, and it will reach people that we cannot reach.
Minister Farrakhan is putting out an individual journal that nobody can call the shots on but him. That's the importance of it, is that they can get it straight, no chaser from our enemies.
The Final Call newspaper actually was born in the basement of the minister's home at that time at 9415 South Damon in Chicago, and that's where we worked. That's where we set up our little typesetter that Donna used. That's where we did most of the subsequent work until the Final Call was moved into its current location on 79th and near Halstead.
Once I learned that Minister Louis Farrakhan was rebuilding the Nation of Islam, that's all I had to hear, and I immediately hopped a plane, came to Chicago, and returned to my nation, which I thought had been deceased.
Final Call newspaper started as a need of Minister Farrakhan's to get the word out, he said. He figured, or he considered himself the warner, and that he wanted to warn America and warn mankind, and he felt that this was the final call, and he wanted to get out this message to his people and formally get it out.
Latest copy today, Final Call.
When we originally started, a friend of ours, Eugene Green and Malele, took the minister to the Mormon Tabernacle Church on the Beltway in Washington, D.C. The minister wanted to use Gabriel's trumpet, which is atop that structure, to actually model the Final Call's trumpet from. So that they were driving him close to it, and he was saying, no, I need to get closer. So they went to the parking lot, and he says, no, I still need to get closer. So it took them almost an hour and a half with him wanting them to study and to draw that trumpet, because he wanted to make sure that it was exactly the same. The trumpet itself is gold, as you can see, but the minister wanted a little bit of black, a little bit of dirt on it. And he says, I want that dirt to be on it because I wanted to always remind myself of how I stumbled before we restarted this new nation.
When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got ready to start Muhammad Speaks, he took Minister Malcolm X, National Secretary John Ali, Herbert Muhammad, who is now Jabbar Muhammad, his son. He took the four of us and put us in his prayer room and told us, come out with me a newspaper, and close the door. That's how Muhammad Speaks got started. And it originally was a monthly, and I was flying in once a month from Los Angeles to put the paper out for many, many, many months, even when we had Dan Burley's name on there as the editor, because his name was so well known in journalism. I was actually editing the paper right up until we got Ken Durham from ABC, and then I could stay home and wouldn't have to take that 2,000-mile flight every couple of weeks or so.
Muhammad Speaks.
As soon as Minister Farrakhan saw me back in the nation, knowing my past experience, my past newspaper experience, then he almost immediately assigned me to take over as the editor of the Final Call, which he was just getting started. Askia Muhammad was doing it out of Washington, but I had more flexibility, although I was living in Atlanta. I had more flexibility to come in and out of Chicago and actually physically work on putting the paper out. And so from that standpoint, I helped to build it up, and my assistant at that time was Wali Muhammad, who once we got it to a certain stage, then he took over as the editor, very able brother.
We're the slingshot. We carry the weapons of war. Them little jive weapons you carry, MAC-10s and Uzis, that won't stop your enemy. In fact, you get them from your enemy. We carry a weapon that your enemy is afraid of. I dare say many of you brothers, you may be out there with your MAC-10s and your Uzis, but you be afraid to be out there with the final call because you're afraid to oppose the idea that the white man is your master. We oppose that idea. God is our master. We will be victorious because it is God's will. It is God's will that black people in America, all over the earth, rise up, seize power, and change the shape of this planet. It is our planet. We own it. We shall rule it. Minister Farrakhan is a sign of the rise of black people.
Brother James Muhammad is now the editor, and I'm the chairman of the editorial board. Brother Askia Muhammad is a member of that board, as is Brother
Minister Farrakhan.
Yes. Brothers and sisters, look. You know, I was sitting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one day, and that man, he's so skillful. He knows how to plant something in your head, and then 5 years down the road, it pops up at the right time to give you guidance. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I'm sitting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one day, a whole table full of people. I'm sitting directly to his left. And he's talking on another subject entirely. And then in the middle of the talk on the other subject, he looks at me and says, you know, brother, if there was any symbol that I could choose to represent myself and my work, it would be a trumpet. And he went on with his talk. I don't know what he's talking about, to tell you the truth. Then about 10 minutes later, he comes back, still talking to the people at the table. Then he said, yes, brother, and have the trumpet coming out of the corner of the page. And then he went right on with what he was doing. Now, I don't know nothing about what he means, trumpet, corner of the page. I ain't got time. He's talking about so many things. I don't have to ask him, what page? What trumpet? So he's gone now. He's gone away. And I'm in the position to try to rebuild the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Then, boop, it pops right up. Trumpet. So you notice on the Final Call newspaper, you see a trumpet. And you see it coming out of the corner of the page. That didn't come from me. Some of you think Farrakhan is deviating. He didn't set up no Muhammad Speaks. If he's going to set up a paper, he should have set it up just like the messenger had it. Muhammad Speaks. He didn't tell me to do that. He told me a trumpet. And he had it say, come out of the corner of the page. That's exactly how it is. Then he told me, you do exactly as you see me do. Go exactly like you see me go. What was the first newspaper of the Nation of Islam? It was called the Final Call to Islam. So I started like he started. I put it the Final Call, had the trumpet coming out of the corner. He didn't tell me what color to make the trumpet. But I made it gold with black in it. Because I knew then that I was his trumpet. I was being purified, but I wasn't quite pure yet. So I put black in the trumpet. To let you know that even though I'm not a purified man, but what's in my mouth is as pure as God is, because it is his word. I'm not pure, but the word is, but I'm being purified. Look at the Quran. Lord, I want you to know me. I don't talk about myself, but it's time that I talk about myself. Before he left, he gave me 2 chapters of the Quran to read. Chapter 74, chapter 75. Both of these surahs deal with a man arising. It goes like this: O thou who wrappest thyself up, arise and warn. That's the first command. Get up and tell the people, I got up in 75. I wasn't pure. I had fallen in the mud. And you know what the mud is? But he said, arise and warn. Thy Lord do magnify. Thy garments do purify. Uncleanness do shun. Don't talk about when I clean up, I'll be back. I got a couple of things I got to do. I got to get myself together. You can't get yourself together out there. You get yourself together in here with the rest of us trying to get ourselves together. There ain't no getting together out there, brother. Don't put off for tomorrow what you know you got to do today. You got to come now and get yourself in order. You're dirty and we got to be clean because God got something he wants us to do. The trumpet came out of the corner. It had black in the trumpet. And you never saw a picture of me for the first 3 years of the paper, except on the third page, at the bottom of the third page. I put my picture on the bottom of the third page because 3 means trial. And as I preached other than the truth of my father for nearly 3 years, I would have to remain on the bottom of the third page until I passed the same amount of time up that I was down. And now you see my picture on the front page. It never was on the front page before. Ain't nothing that I've done wasn't guided by him. That's why I look intelligent. It ain't that I'm intelligent. I'm guided by a man of supreme knowledge. I'm not a man that's just out here doing something. I'm being guided in what I'm doing. I'm the same as you are. I would be a walking fool if I didn't have a guide. And that's why I can say even more than the prophet David, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I don't want for nothing that he don't give me. Yeah, I think you should applaud. When I started this teaching back up, I was raggedy as a bowl of Yakima. Whatever that is. I had foot foolers on. Shoe on the top, nothing on the bottom. Had a refrigerator that looked brand new because there was nothing in it. I was in bad shape. For I was so glad when I came back to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and got my life back in order. And look at what he's making of me. Not what I'm making of myself, what he is making of me. I'm not an extraordinary person. I'm just an ordinary brother. But my life is in the life of a master. Is in the hands of a master. Let me finish this by saying, you know that 23rd Psalm? He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thou preparest a table for me in the midst of my enemies. Do you know that these enemies would like to starve me? They try to block every way that money could come to me to help me. But the table was spread before me in the midst of my enemies. I can invite many, many, many people to come and sit and eat at my table. Ain't no end to the bowl of soup. Under that bowl is another bowl. And under that other bowl is another bowl. And under that is beans and more beans. I'm not bragging, but the Lord is my shepherd. And when the Lord is your shepherd, man, are you rightly guided? Well, look at this. The messenger said, brother, there are 7 trumpets coming from behind this one. He said, when this one stopped, there's 7 more trumpets. I don't think you want to hear none of those. You see this trumpet? This is the lips. A trumpet don't blow itself. It can be the most beautiful horn ever made, but somebody got to put wind in it. And somebody got to play it. What you're hearing is the trumpet. But you don't see the one that's playing the horn. But out of the trumpet is coming the final call. You know what a final call means? You know what? You travel and they tell you final call. Are you supposed to pick up your pace when you hear final call? If it's the final call, don't slow down. Get busy. Run to your gate. Get where you're supposed to be. This is it. And there's some of you hypocrites that sit among us that are in league with them. Some of you hate me so much. And if I asked you, why do you hate me? What have I done? I lifted up the name of Elijah Muhammad. Is that a crime? Are you angry with me because God has made me successful? All these pretenders that followed my father, claiming to be the one that he wanted in his place. You can see who he wanted in his place now. Ain't nobody doing his work but me. Talk to me. Ain't nobody doing his work but Farrakhan. Why? He ain't here to give me no money. I'm not doing this for no damn money. I'm doing it because I love that man and I love you and I want to see you alive. But why do you hate me? Some of you want to be the leader. You don't want this job. It should have been me. Don't nobody talk like that but a damn fool or a nut. You don't want to be no leader over black people. That is not something that you want. That's something that God put on you and you run from it until you can't run no more. I can't run no more. I am the one that he left. And if you had not fought me, you would still have a nation. And if I thought that I could do the job 15 years ago, I would have stood up, but it was not time. Some of you, disciples of my father, wouldn't lift your hand to help me. Sit around and talk about everything that I did. Yes. Why do you think he named it the final call? Why did he say there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger? He didn't use the same greeting that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Why did he do this? Why did he do that? You don't ask me, but you sit in secret councils among yourselves. But my sons were with me in Mecca. Yes, sir. And I sat with the best that they got. And I talked about Master Farad Muhammad in a way that they had tears running out them scholars' eyes. I never backed down one bit from what we believe. And I told them there's no compromise on Elijah Muhammad. Because ain't none of you taught me nothing. You didn't raise me up. Didn't nobody give a damn for the black man in America until Master Farad Muhammad came and raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And don't you ever forget it. You think that these few people that are here is all that's with me? These are some that are trying to be civilized. I got some out there. Oh, brother and sister, you just don't know what you're playing with.